Okay, so these are the leaves from a poinsettia plant, kind of the Christmas plant. Now, I have a small plant of this, and it is going through the stages right now. I don't have the gigantic red ones yet, which I'm planning to put over here. So hopefully I can find a plant that has them already at that stage sometime in the future, or I used photo reference from somewhere. Anyway, I want to just do a kind of a update on this. So this is all the stages that I showed on the previous link or video that I was making. So I purposely left one side undead. Now I'm still going to be working on this, but I'm going to do some demonstrations of how I got this over here on this side. Same thing with this. This is kind of like the beginning stages of how I would get started, and this is kind of in the process of getting closer. This one's definitely needs more work. I just wanted to, I'm going to be working on this after this video ends. But you can see the various stages of where I was at and what it looks like right now. So you can see there is some nice blending going on. And all these leaves were just on my little plant. And all in different stages. So I thought it was kind of interesting. So I thought I'd do a watercolor demonstration on this. I'm going to back up again. So I'm going to probably work on a few more and then start the process of doing the demonstration later on. Okay, so these are the set of leaves I'm going to be trying to paint. I'm going to take it from different angles. Close-ups. It just basically shows the stages of deterioration of the same type of leaf. It's the leaf that is from holly, Christmas time holly, I guess you could say. Really nice, intricate leaves. Variations of colors are just extraordinary. And this is all at the same time period. So I just pulled these off my plant this morning. So it's kind of like, wow, all the various stages without going from winter to spring and summer again. Okay, so I'm going to do a little demonstration on this one right here. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time because this is just for the demonstration purposes. Let me see if I can get closer. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is just putting a light wash on this, and it's kind of a crimson red oxide. Now again, I have to emphasize that I'm going very fast, but this is only for demonstration purposes. And I'm going to come in here with a little bit more red. Let it bleed. Now, you have to let this dry a little bit, but I'll be putting in more washes to get close to this side, but then eventually what I'll do is I'll just kind of pull it out slowly. Still a little too wet. And this is what I call control scribbling. So it's just years of practice knowing how much to blend and how much to pull and how much to wait. Now, as that's drawing, let's see if I can come in a little bit more to this. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a demonstration on this. And maybe zoom in just a bit first. Okay, so if you look right here, you can see there is a dark part on this other, and then there's a little bit of a yellow on the edge. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that yellow on the edge. And it doesn't really matter. There's so many different yellows. And, you know, you're just going to have to play around with it. It'll let you know if it's too bright or too orangey, or what feels comfortable to your eyes. I'm kind of, now, I guess you could say, reconstituting the watercolors that were there already. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of sap green. Sap green is another one of those, colors I use a lot as far as a green. I mean, there are times where I need a really intense bright green, and I will use different greens, but for the most part, as a neutral green that looks realistic, I will go with this. Okay, so now I'm going to come in a little bit darker green, and I still want it to bleed out. And you can see the transition, and when it's wet, it makes a very nice transition into the next color. That bleeding will look very natural. And I'm just gonna wash that in and wash it out a little bit. Some colors will repeat throughout the leaf. Now I purposely leave some white showing through, so when I do kind of a pulling out of the color, it gets more intense. And this will give the leaf kind of volume, and will make it kind of flow. Like you can see curvatures in the leaf itself. And I explained it on another video quite some time ago with rock formations. And I explained, this is my signature, the way I paint. It feels comfortable for me, and it works for me. And everybody has their own signature. And I explained that's why you can tell the difference between a Monet and a Cézanne or a Van Gogh or any of those painters by just looking at the colors of strokes. And even though they're doing almost exactly the same thing, you can still pick up their style very easily. You'll just like, oh yeah, no, that's a Van Gogh. No, that's a Monet. That's a Cézanne, Manet, Renoir. because it's just a unique thing to them. Doesn't mean you can, it's impossible to get to look like this, but it's just one of those things that does take, for me, 50 years to perfect. Now, watercolors, because I haven't been using watercolors. I really started concentrating on watercolors in the last 20 years. And before the 20 years, it was almost impossible for me to paint with watercolors, especially doing detail. But because I could no longer use acrylics because of the chemicals, I needed to take a different direction, and struggled a whole bunch. Hundreds and hundreds of mistakes, failures, but not all failures, because I did have some abilities, but to be equivalent to acrylics, because I could do pretty much anything with acrylics, more failures than successes. And as time went on, I started getting better and more confident, and things kind of worked out. And you can see I'm just kind of going over some of these things. Now, the techniques I'm using are the same techniques I use for pretty much everything. It's that, I call it 20 cups of coffee, so my hand like moves real jittery, but I can control it, so I know exactly how much pressure and what's going on here. Now you can see what's going on in this. I don't think I need to go back on that. Anyway, I'm just going to give a quick kind of a flow chart of what I'm working on, mainly because I don't want to make these things too long, so I already spent 10 minutes just doing this one below here. And so now these are from an actual plant in my house, so you can see how this is the way it would start off. So you can see there's the light yellow in there, and that would be where the veins are. I went over with a light wash, and you can see the light wash here. Get a paintbrush so you can see what I'm talking about better. So you can see where I'm kind of bringing in the darks, and eventually what I'll do is I'll start blending the transition. And this is just a slow process, going back and forth, back and forth. See, the next too light right there, so I'll see if I can bring some more color in. If it doesn't work, I'll hit the palette and get more paint. But usually I can take from what's there in the blending process. And you can see by doing that kind of quick movement, or the 20 cups of coffee, you'll see variations in color. And that would be kind of almost the cell structure of the leaf. Anyway, so that's how I did this. Here's one just starting. And now I'm going to be kind of making the other side like this. So I'm just going to start. And I always start with the lightest color first and work my way out, and then pull and blend. I didn't have a poinsettia large leaf, but did some research on one, And I use this one as a reference for this shape. But let me see if I can. Okay, so let me just do a quick scan. It's kind of an old leaf, kind of crumbled up. There's the beginning of one. And there's the poinsettia plant. Pretty much basically just painted the whole thing red and then just came in here and pulled some highlights, and I'll probably go in with just a little bit of a darker red in there. You can see the little grain patterns that are on this leaf. And the same thing with this. Started with the red first and then the green, and then kind of started slowly blending them into each other so that it's a nice bleed. Here's one that's kind of about 80% on this side. So I'm still kind of working the veins and some of the structure in there. And started this one to get close to this, and then I'll start working that the same way. Anyway, I'm not sure what else is going to go in here. But it's a start, and this is when I start thinking about everything, just to see what else I can do. So this may have insects or bugs or faces or whatever. I don't know yet. It's just a mystery to me until it's done. Okay, this is my next adventure. Sorry for the squeaking sounds, but that's the sound of a happy puppy. So I'm going to do a zoom in, because I did go over a few things. I'm going to do a demonstration on a water drop. And you can see that I went into a little bit of this, made some little edges of, I guess, deterioration, which is kind of a common thing. I'm going to do a little water drop demo right here. You can see also the damage and dying of. So this is the last thing I've been working on. Let me get a closer view on that. I just finished that just recently. I'm going to do a big water drop here, and then this is going to be probably the last thing I'm going to do, well, second to last. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing. So I'm actually making 5 of them, so I'm in the process of painting that. I don't know if I'm going to do a demonstration on that, but I'll give you kind of an idea. So once this water drop comes in, then I'm going to have multiple butterflies drinking fake water. So fake butterflies, fake water, it's going to be okay. So anyway, that's the plan. I'll be doing the demonstration on the water drops. Okay, so I'm going to do the demonstration on this. Okay, so I'm going to come in with a damp brush, not super wet. I just kind of, let me kind of zoom in. Okay, so like I said, I came in with a damp brush. I don't want to go super, super wet. And I just want to start pulling out the color. Now I'm going to pull it out just on the bottom for right now. Then what I'm going to do is come over it with just a little bit darker brown. And just do a little bit of a shadow underneath. Very slight. Not anything drastic. I'm just going to dab that. Go back over it. Now, hopefully this will work. Maybe I'll work on the red one while this dries a little bit, because I need to do the reflection drop. So I'll come back to this. So this is a larger water drop. Now I'm going to be going a little bit faster than I would normally do it, just for demonstration purposes. So now I'm pulling it out. Well, actually I'm just wetting the surface just to release the pigment. Now usually at this time I just kind of blend a little bit so you don't get that harsh line. And then come in with a smaller brush to give it more of a let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Now sometimes I go over it and just kind of come through these, as you can see, like a little dark lines in here, and that will help with the illusion also of it being transparent. So maybe I'll just do a slight little now I'm just going to go on the top. And now this doesn't work. I'll just pull out and come back in. So I'm going a little bit darker. Like I said, this will help with the transition. And I'll just do a little bit of a shadow down here. Now normally I would just keep going in and blending it and just barely get it so you could barely see any transition lines. Now that's the way I would do it. Now I'll probably put a bigger highlight and then attach the butterflies later. But let me just go back over here. I know it's probably not totally dry, but it'd probably be okay for these purposes. And right now it looks pretty good. As far as see-through, you can still see kind of the original background still in there. But as soon as I pop that little highlight, just that one simple little thing really gives a good reflection and makes it look translucent. Anyway, so I just wanted to do a small update just to give everybody an idea of what my plan is. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little quick demo. These are the butterflies I'm going to cut. Again, I'm going quite quickly. My shadow is right next to me. Seneguro. And my hand is bouncing a little bit. That's because she's behind me, walking behind me. So if she jumps on me, I have to pretty much cancel this. Anyway, that's painting a butterfly under pressure. Then I'll do the backside and then cut these out. Oh, there she comes. Okay, so this is my latest painting. Now, I have a lot of different sections showing the demonstration of how to do these leaves. But right now it's at 90%, I would say, which means things can change, not that drastic, but it'll be looking at certain things and doing fine detail that no one's ever going to see. It's just for me. I may see just little inclusions because I'm going to be using magnification, these glasses that, let me just get them. Oops, these glasses right here, and they make everything look like you're looking under a magnifying glass. So I'll see things that no one will see. It's just mainly for me. So I'm just going to do a quick little scan and just show you where things are at. Now, I did add a few things. This one's not finished, so that's probably the last thing. But then the process of adding things, like I guess they call them hidden nuggets or things like that. There's a term, kind of keys. Things are hidden in the painting, which will alter things just a little bit. Now I have this one right here that I just added. So this is a water drop. There's a big one back here. And of course going with the same theme that I've been going with lately. So I've done a demonstration of how to do this here and some of the water drops in the version that will go to YouTube as an instructional video. Anyway, so yes, this is where I'm at now. Well, it looks like I finally got them together. There's Cody, and right back here is Senna. She's getting used to riding in the car now, so that's a big relief. So we're just going to go for a little